What's going on, guys? My name is Steven. I'm one of the trainers here at Foundation Fitness, and the big topic for today is gonna be nutrition. What you are eating is directly related to not only how you perform in the gym, but how you look as well. Before we dive into the specifics of what creates a good meal plan, as well as how to properly fuel the body, we need to understand what calories and macros are. Calories represent anything my body can use as energy, and you want to think about it as your total amount of food in the day. Now, my macros, my protein, fats, and carbs, are what make up those calories. So again, you want to think about it as calories as the total amount of food or energy going into my body throughout the day, and my macros is just the ratio of the protein, fats, and carbs that I'm eating to make up those calories. And for anyone that doesn't know, protein is the building block of muscle. It's what repairs tissue after a workout. Carbohydrates I like to think about as gas in your car. It's what your body burns as energy. And fat is a type of lipid that kind of keeps everything running smoothly, keeps the joints lubricated, organs functioning properly, and is essential for a well-rounded diet. That being said, let's talk about calculating your calories and your macros. When calculating your calories, there are a lot of things that we take into account. We look at your body weight, your body fat, your age, your previous eating habits, as well as what you're trying to do, whether that be gaining weight or losing weight. Using all these factors, we're gonna find your maintenance level of calories, which is a guesstimate. No matter what formula that you use for calculating calories, it is going to give you an estimate of where your maintenance level should be. Once we have found your maintenance level, that gives us a baseline to then make decisions on what direction we want to go. If you are simply overweight, right, you're eating too many calories in the day, all we have to do is bring you to your maintenance level or put you in a slight deficit with the right amount of macros, which I'll address in a second, right? You will begin to lose weight, and we will play with that number until you're losing about a half pound to a pound a week. Now, on the flip side, there are people that are overweight or out of shape that want to lose weight, but can't because their calories are so low. Now, how does this happen? So this generally takes place over a series of years, right? Where someone's calorie level is so low that their body actually slows down. So for whatever reason, if you have a crazy work schedule, you don't eat when you're stressed, you've done crazy fad diets that drop your calories super low, your body will recognize this over a period of time and slow its metabolism down, right? And a good sign of this is that you have no appetite, you feel sluggish, and you don't have the ability to push in your workouts. So now you're in the scenario where you need a metabolism reset. So let's say for example, this person's maintenance calorie level is 2,000 calories, and over the course of a couple years, they have whittled their metabolism down to only burning, say, 1,000 calories per day. We're also assuming that this person is inactive and has a bad macro balance, okay? But they're only burning 1,000 calories. Anything they eat on top of that 1,000 calories is gonna cause them to gain weight and they get really frustrated. So what we need to do is slowly increase the calories over a course of usually 3 to 4 weeks with a good balance of macros, okay? And what happens is, since they're at 1,000 calories and they need to be at 2,000, when we increase over that 3 to 4 week period, they will gain weight, usually in the form of 3 to 5 pounds, sometimes more, sometimes less, right? And people are very unhappy to see this because we want obviously the numbers to go in the opposite direction. But this is necessary to get you back to that 2,000 calorie burn rate. And your trainer should see this, right? You'll gain that weight, you'll hit that 2,000 calorie burn rate, your body will adjust and your weight will plateau. Once that weight has plateaued, now we can go into that slight deficit where you can go into a solid weight loss program where you're losing a half pound to a pound a week. If you're someone who's trying to gain weight, it's a simple game of increasing the calories over the maintenance level to a point where we're gaining about a half pound to a pound a month to make sure we're staying in that lean muscle range. The last thing I want to address before moving on is gaining weight and losing weight, okay? Specifically gaining muscle and losing fat. You cannot do these two things at the same time. Now let's talk about macros. So when you're tracking in MyFitnessPal throughout the day, there's a little nutrition tab that you can click on that will show you your balance of protein, fats, and carbs. Just like your calories, this is something that your trainer will calculate for you and will be something that you want to keep an eye on throughout the day. We as trainers know exactly where to put your macro percentages, but to give you an idea of where we're coming from, we base it off of 3 body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. An ectomorph is someone who has a thinner body type and has trouble gaining weight, so we'll set them up with a higher carb and lower protein ratio. A mesomorph is someone who can go either way. They're pretty effective at gaining and losing weight, so we generally keep them at a pretty even balance of protein, fats, and carbs. An endomorph is someone who has a larger body type that has trouble losing weight, so we'll generally set them up with a higher protein to carb ratio. Once you've been given your calories and your macros, you can pretty much eat anything that fits those numbers in the app. Now, I will recommend this. You do want to stay away from your high calorie foods as well as your high calorie beverages like your sodas, alcohols, juices, anything like that. It's going to take away from your overall calories. It's not going to give you a whole lot of nourishment, and it's not going to keep you full. To summarize our calories and our macros and kind of put it in simpler terms, our calories are, generally speaking, going to manipulate our body weight, and our macros are going to manipulate our fat to muscle ratio. Now that we've covered calories and macros, we can talk about MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is an app that we have all of the clients download. It allows you to track everything that you eat and drink throughout the day. On top of that, the app will show you your total amount of calories as well as your ratio of protein, fats, and carbs. The app also allows us to change your calorie numbers as well as your macro ratios at any time, which makes it super convenient when changing the direction of a meal plan. The next thing I want to talk about is the mentality behind food. Food should be viewed as fuel going into the body. In the beginning, I don't want you to think weight loss, at least for those first 2 to 4 weeks. I want you to think about how can I put the correct amount of nutrients in my body so that I feel strong in my workouts, I can push to the best of my ability and burn calories. Once we kind of get you up there and your calories are higher and you're burning and feeling good, then we can go in and say, all right, we're gonna cut your calories back a little bit, to which you can then lose a half pound to a pound a week. The last thing I want to cover is fad diets, right? The big problem with fad diets is that they usually go to extreme lengths to get you to lose weight. When dropping calories super low or removing whole food groups, it's really intense on the body, and generally 2 things will happen. You'll either lose weight so fast that you'll inevitably rebound, or you'll do it for so long that you'll generally crush your metabolism over time. So remember, guys, that food is fuel. You want to avoid extremes. Always keep high communication with your trainer. As always, remember to be your best, and I'll catch you in the next one.